Hello all, it's James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade, and I am back here with Empyrion Galactic Online, as I'm currently loading into Elion's official server, and we're going to check out how our progress is going on the capital vessel. So I've done some very basic texturing and painting, but this is not what it's going to look like. It's very boxy right now. Yeah, there's just not enough depth, right? It's basically a box at this point, and I plan to change that. There's a long way to go, but I just wanted to see some color on it and how it would look with some color going on. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a frontal look at it. I like the frontal silhouette. The front maybe isn't as big and as thick as I originally had envisioned in my mind, but at the same time I'm trying to keep the costs of this ship down. And so I had to make some decisions on just how much combat steel I wanted to put in the front of this bad boy. And that's pretty much what most of this is combat steel. As you can see there, combat steel, combat steel, combat steel, combat steel. So there's an entire layer of combat steel on the front here, and all of the protruding stuff here is all combat steel as well. Again, I want to give this guy some depth, some lines, some contour, more than just being a box. I think I've successfully done that here in the front. And I think I've put enough combat steel on the front that it's not going to completely melt when shot at from the front. So I feel pretty good about it. It's still well within a reasonable cost structure. And from the underneath here you can see that there's I must have walked under a thruster, that there's a combat steel skirting that I've put here to kind of block incoming fire coming along this plane. What is that radiation? Oh, it's the thrusters that are over here, right? I've got some frontal thrusters that I put in on the nose of the ship, which is behind these screens. I don't know if you can see through there or not, but there are indeed thrusters on the other side of those shutters. And there are another thrusters here on the other side of these shutters as well. Of course it would become nighttime when I'm trying to show things off. So, painting, texturing, we put on the front of the ship basically. That's the primary thing that has happened since the last episode. And inside of the front we did put medical. So this is our medical facility. We got the toilet and shower, we've got a cryo chamber, we've got a bed, and we've got the medic station, as well as a window here, a big heavy window to look out at the incoming fire. The doctors get a nice view of the shots coming in while people are being rushed to medical during the firefight. They can see firsthand that they're going to be the first people shot up here in medical. All right, so medical is not the only thing I've done. I've also put in an HV hangar. And boy, it's dark in here. I should probably turn on my light. I'm not quite sure about the color scheme yet. But yeah, here's we got some shutter doors over here to give us extra space to get the hover vehicle up through here. So that's a nice big entryway to be able to drive up into here without many shouldn't be any problems getting a decent sized hovercraft into this bay. And then above is the hangar. That's the other thing that we've managed to do since the last episode. Yeah, I'm not completely sold on my colors and textures at this point. This is just kind of a rough draft, if you will. But yeah, here's the hangar. It's nice, big, spacious. Yes, there's a lot of regular steel and a lot of glass that's gone into this hangar. However, it is the rear of the ship, right? So the rear of the ship is kind of should be the last portions of the ship being shot at. You literally will need to fire your way through the bow and the bridge and all of this area before you're going to finally start to reach the hangars. Up in this section there is some combat steel because I don't plan to build a bridge that's going to go extremely high, because I think that this area here in the hangar is going to be higher on the silhouette. So I put combat steel in that area. And also there's probably going to be guns up there as well, I would assume. So I wanted the guns to sit on some combat steel. But yeah, the majority of the hangar is not as... You can see the combat steel there. The majority of the hangar is not as thickly defended, if you will. And that is, again, to keep the weight of the ship down and to keep the cost of the ship down. As I want to try to keep this as low of a class level as possible, but as fully functional as possible, and reasonably armored in all the right places. So yeah, there we have the hangar for the small vessel. In fact, probably could fit 2, maybe even 3 small vessels in here. I'm thinking that I could utilize some of this space here for something else. I could probably fit the shield 1, 2, 3 by 3. Could probably fit the shield generator right there, and it wouldn't be a bad spot for it, actually. So that could very well be a thing. Also back here, I might try to put in the ammo box. The ship's obviously going to need an ammo controller, and I think with so much area back here to work with, it seems like a sensible place to put the ammo controller. So yeah, shield, ammo controller, as well as a nice big hangar for parking. I'm thinking grow plots out here, and production over here, or I could even move production into the hangar too. That might make sense, and then I could just put a second line of grow plots so that they're symmetrical. So grow plots on this side and that side. And then up here will be the bridge, which will, of course, be primarily made of combat steel, and will certainly have a lot of guns sitting on top of it. I want to keep as many guns as forward to the ship as possible because guns are shot at. They're a targetable thing, and so I want to keep most of the targeting happening up here where most of the defense of the ship will be. So yeah, the ship, the thought process, the armor layout of the process is going to be very heavily armored on the forward facement of the battle, and not as well armored on the sides or the rear. The sides will be a little bit more armored, and the rear will definitely be the most exposed area of this craft. Well, sort of. So there is obviously a hover vessel hangar and a small vessel hangar that would need to be shot through, and those are not exactly what I would call vital areas. So if they were to be shot through and shot up, it wouldn't be a huge loss. Of course, any damage done to the small vessel itself could be pretty bad, or the hover vessel. Though most hover vessels are usually built to take a punch, so the hover vessel itself could likely end up to be an extra layer of defense to have to get shot through to get to the warp facility, which would sit on the other side of the wall from it, basically. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. That's how things are. I think things are coming together pretty nicely. Oh, and then there's of course going to be the nacelles. I like to put probably going to put a small nacelle here, a bigger nacelle here on both sides, and those of course will have additional thrusters for going down and forward and up, and you know, the whole thruster nacelle thing. I just saw food. I need to get my gun out. There's food over here. Yeah, I really like having these guys out in front of my base. They've given me a surprising amount of XP. And so, yeah, just killing a couple of these a day to basically keep the hunger away has really helped me get a fair amount of XP generation. any down in the hole? Sometimes there are. That looks to be alright. So that's something I didn't show you about the base. I built the base basically on top of this Swiss cheese hole, and a big section of the base is actually sitting over kind of a subterranean cavern. Some of you might be like, but structural integrity. No, it's not that Swiss cheese. It's got plenty of structural integrity. Alright, let's queue up these stakes. And yeah, this is probably as good a place as any to start wrapping up this episode. So I still have the production facility to put in place. I still have the bridge to put in place. I have the shield generator to put in place. I have farming and food to put in place. I have decorations to do. I need to make it look less like a box. And of course I need to finish putting the guns on it. And I think I might be able to get most of that done here before the next episode. Maybe it'll take 2 episodes, but I think we should be able to get it done in 1. But we'll see tomorrow. Depends on just how smoothly things go, and how I keep on the task at hand and don't get distracted by something shiny or another. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. This is my content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time, all, peace.